जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रजनरञ्जन
यमुना तीरावनचारी
वीरवनुचारि
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी.
That's it, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य शील अभय चरणारविंद शील भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय. श्रीवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. निताई गौर प्रमानंदे हरि 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 बोल. We all together will chant the Mangalacharan. So everyone can unmute and all together will. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vande Yamashi Guru Ishuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Radharanitam Tam Tadvaitamashavadutam Parijana Shahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakharnitangsya Namoyam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavade Pachatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpataro Bhasya Kripa Sindho Bhaye Vacha Patitanang Apavonibhya Vaishnavebhya Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadvaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. धन्यवाद. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Divyanand Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Ram, all goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. So we'll start our reading today. So we are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, 3rd chapter. And today we're going to do verse 64, right? Divanand Prabhu?
65.
65. Okay. 65. So I hope it's like last class, who was not present, you can listen in YouTube. It was a very nice topic we did last week. Very nicely. Many things are described. Is I think we'll hear newly. That's how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's own rupa is a astra. How his parshadas as like a weapon. His color is like a weapon. He's just seeing his eyes. His focus of the eyes is like a weapon. How that weapon is work. That weapon, how it is works is very nicely is mentioned. So now we are starting from there. Is weapon. অন্য অবতারে সব সৈন্য শস্ত্র সঙ্গে চৈতন্য কৃষ্ণের সৈন্য অঙ্গে উপাঙ্গে. Translation, Ramanujan Prabhu.
Translation. In other incarnations, the Lord descended with armies and weapons, but in this incarnation, his soldiers are his planetary parts and associates.
So this is as mentioning, as we talked the last week about this method, the same things that other appearance time when Lord was came and performed the first time in other avatars, other incarnations, he always come with the soldiers. But this age of Kali, that is his anga is a part of the body, and upanga is his associate. Upa angaha, associate. So they are the weapon for deliver the fallen soul and make them to become a Krishna consciousness. Text. Tadopasya Sriman Dhritamअनुजाकै praniyatam Bahardgivanai Girisha Paramisti Pravitibhi Savaktyabhyam Shuddham Nija Bhajana Mudramupadishanaha Chaitanya Kimme Punaropi Drikshasjaspati Padam. These verses from Chaitanya Stak and is written in Stavamala, verses number 1. So we'll hear the translation. Divanand Prabhu, translation please.
Sure, Prabhu. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always the most worshipable deity of the demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, who came in the garb of ordinary men, bearing love for him. He instructs his own pure devotional service to his own devotees. Will he again be the object of my vision?
So this is the prayers. As we hear that Stavamala, Srila Rupa Goswami, he writing there, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, and who came as a form of devotee. Not only the personalities, everything, his color, his eyes, his darshans, and everything's attract to the human being. When the day will come, that Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, may ever be manifested in my heart. We always need that, right? When the time will come, that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come and appear in my heart, manifested in my heart. It's a very nice song in Bengali. তোমায় হৃদ মাঝারে রাখিব ছেড়ে দেব না তোমায় ঈদ মাঝারে রাখিব ছেড়ে দেব না My dear Lord Chaitanya, I'm going to keep you on my heart, not on my heart, middle of my heart. Because if I leave you, ছেড়ে দিলে সোনার গৌর আর তো পাবে না ছেড়ে দিলে সোনার গৌর আর তো পাবে না তোমার হৃদ মাঝারে রাখিব ছেড়ে দেব না Just a second. Shoe's fine, Rose. Shoe's fine. It's not. The Rose Mata, her computer always got problems, so then she's just coming enough. Okay, so it's mentioning, I'm going to keep you in my heart, my dear Lord Chaitanya. ছেড়ে দেব না ছেড়ে দিলে সোনার গৌর আর তো পাবে না If I leave you, I'm not going to get you anymore. That's why the devotees is always prayer, always pray to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, my dear Lord, please come and stay in my heart. So it's very nice in Stabumala books, if you get it, might be not now, later on, it can be very nice. The Stabumala's books by Srila Rupa Goswami. Any comments on this?
I'm trying to understand the translation itself, where it says, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always the most worshipable deity of the demigods. I'm trying to understand this sentence a little bit better. And in what context is said here, demigods, most worshipable deity of the demigods for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Right.
Maybe I'm misreading it, I guess.
No. You're not misreading it, Prabhu. He's mentioning Bahur di Dhirgi Banoi Girishaha Poromishti. Bahar Dibhi Giribi Banoi Girishaha Poromishti Prabhitivi. So if you go to the translation word by word, verse 66, so you can see the Srila Prabhupada are mentioning Bahardi, where is Bahardi? Yeah, Bahardi, who were bring by the demigods. And we know Grisha is one of the very popular name. One name of Lord Shiva. Grisha, Lord Shiva. Parameshti means our Parameshti Guru, means our forefather, Lord Brahma. Right? And
right.
Prabhi Tibhi. Prabhitivi means all others.
Headed
Is
by.
headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, all the demigods. They are heading by. So why the demigods is ultimately they meditating in this form of Lord Chaitanya? Why it is? The very nice explanation actually is given. You know that all the devas, not Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is different tattvas. Lord Shiva is not the deva tattvas. But all other demigods, it is in a position. And on that position, do we just think maybe the demigods are very happy? Demigods are staying very happily there. But demigods are not so happy though. Because they couldn't, rule their area properly. They always have a fear. Because their time, as we know, way bigger than our time. As they expend only 12 hours, we expend 6 months. So if you calculate your 6 month all pain, so it will be like too much. And they have to expend that 12 hours that long. On that long, there is always some demon. They come. Some demon, they come, and what they do, they kick out all the demigods. The demigods is always got suffered. And they have to be there until their age is there, means until they are appointed by. And after they, they finish their duty, they will not be able to go back to Godhead. They will not go back to Godhead. But when the Lord come as form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is the only time even the demigod can come and worship Lord Chaitanya, and they will have a confirm their ticket to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu is make that things is happen to the demigods. That's why this avatar, in Chaitanya's avatars, even the demigods is worshipable, because demigods want to get delivered also. They don't want to stay in suffering position. That's why he's mentioning Brahmaro dullabho prem shabakare jache. Brahmaro dullabho prem. Even the Lord Brahma, who can't achieve the prema, but Mahaprabhu are giving to everyone. Saying, no, you don't have to pay, it's free. Take it. No, I don't want to take. No, take it, it's free. It's very healthy. It's very healthy. They're saying, Brahmaro dullabho prem shabakare. Who? Because Mahaprabhu appointed Lord Nityananda. And this bhajan, who wrote it? Who knows? Akradha Paramananda Nityananda Ram. Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Oh, no. Lochan Das Thakur. The song written by Lochan Das Thakur. So, that's way Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even the most worshipable by the demigods. Demigods wants to come in this. It's like, I hear the one lecture by Srila Prabhupada, and also I read some Acharya's books where I found Srila Prabhupada used to say, how fortunate you are. Because this age of Kali, all the demigods make a big line in the gate of Sheta Vaikuntha, where is Lord Vishnu is waiting by. Why they make the big line? Because they want to get a permission. For what? They want to come back in this material world as a human form. They want to take as a human form. Because only in this human form, Lord Chaitanya even more merciful. And only one lifetime, they will go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So there is a big queue. And we came in this material world, this earthly planets, and the golden opportunity we have. If we don't accept it, there is no foolish than us in this three world. So that's why I said, Paiya Manushya Jarma. When we got this human birth, if we don't worship Lord Chaitanya, then Janiya Shuniya Bishokhainu. Then that person is like the same as the person who knows, if I drink the poison, I will die. Even knowing that, that person is drinking poisons. And also, the authors, the singers are saying, not only that, the person is like same. He was cutting the wood by a kuthar. I don't know what's called in kuthar in English. You know what you cut for wood? What the Parshurams have his weapon?
Oh.
Axe.
Axe.
Axe. Yeah, that's the axe. Said, Apono paye kuthalo malili. You are just actually hitting that axe on your own feet. How? Because the golden opportunity come in front of us and we are not accepting that. So that's why over here in Stabomala, Srila Rupa Goswami was mentioning how that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here to give in that prema, and the demigods want to get that. And that's why the demigods' lowest form is Lord Chaitanya, because he didn't see is a demigod, is a Brahmana, is a Shudra. He gave the prema to everyone. Everyone. That's why Lord Shivas are enjoying it. How? Chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We chanting in a one mouth. But he enjoying with a Panchananaha, 5 mouth. You have 5 heads. So 5 mouth you are chanting in very close to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace. When we do the Navadvip Mandal Parikrama, we go there. But Lord Shiva used to sit and chant the holy name. And that place called Panchanantala. Meaning the place of Lord Shiva under the one banyan tree. That tree was still alive and that old. Is that a little clear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Okay. So we're going text 67. 67. অঙ্গপাঙ্গ বস্ত্র করে সকার্য সাধন অঙ্গ শব্দের অর্থ আর শুনদিয়া মন ব্রজরাধা মাতা translation please.
Yes, Prabhu. His plenary parts and associates perform the work of weapons as their own specific duties. Please hear from me another meaning of the word anga.
So now he will going to be give our descriptions about the another words of the angas and the meanings. So you have to go to the next verse to get that meanings. অঙ্গ শব্দের অংশ কহে শাস্ত্র প্রমাণ অঙ্গের অবয়ব উপাঙ্গ ব্যাখ্যান অঙ্গ শব্দের অংশ কহে শাস্ত্র প্রমাণ অঙ্গের অবয়ব উপাঙ্গ ব্যাখ্যান. And Prabhu, translation please.
Me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
According to the evidence of the revealed scriptures, a bodily limb, anga, is also called a part, amsha. And a part of a limb is called a partial part, upanga. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So Prabhu, in verse 67, when it's mentioned here, his plenary parts and associate perform the work of weapons as their own specific duties. Is that referring to demigods here? They're doing under the Lord the specific duties assigned to them?
No. These Upangas are talking about the associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Oh, okay.
Who came with these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya.
Okay.
So
Krishna Prabhu, sorry
yeah,
to interrupt. You said they are not demigods, but then demigods also came as associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right?
right. So not only the demigods are came with associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
Mm-hmm.
there is a above them the demigod
Yeah, because
also came as an associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why they said not only the demigods, others also. So they all
okay,
consider as an
okay,
associate.
okay.
It's like King Vrishabhanu, Nand Maharaj,
Yes, yes.
Vamsis, right? So all are there. Madhumangal, Shubal,
The
Sridham,
Vraja Leela.
all
Yeah.
Brajalilas. But yeah,
Oh.
same time the demigods also there as like a Narad Muni, as a Srivas Thakur's came. So yeah, demigods also is there too.
Yeah.
Thank you. So according to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he made this is the clear. In according to the Shastras, Anga, as we are saying, the Anga is like a hand. So it's like a part of our body. Anga. Now, Upanga, Upa Angaha have a two meanings. One is like this is completely Anga, my complete hand. But if he's just pointing in the finger, I cannot say finger is my Anga, my part. But we can say this is Upa Anga. Upanga, part of the Angas or part of the bodies. The limb, part of the limb. So very nice verses are given from Srimad Bhagavatam. Maybe this sloka can read by, yeah, Ramanujan Prabhu.
Which one, Prabhu?
69.
69. Narayana Satvam Lahi Sarva Dhinam Atmasya Adishakila Loka Sakshi Narayano Nigam Narabhi Jalayant Tat Chapit Satyam Na Tavaya Maya.
Thank you, Prabhu. Ramchandra Priya Prabhu. Welcome, Prabhu.
Haribol Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. How are you, Prabhu?
Good Prabhu. Sorry Prabhu, I got late in the class today.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I
Good
went for grocery, so I got little late. So
thank
We
you.
are fortunate to have you, Prabhu, and having your darshan. Doesn't matter if you're late or not. It doesn't matter.
Prabhu, all your good qualities will go if you have my darshan, Prabhu.
No, it's my fortune. It expands more. It doesn't go away.
Okay,
Prabhu.
true translation.
Yeah.
Ramchandra Priya Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu. O Lord of Lords, you are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. Are you not? Therefore, my father Narayan. Narayan refers to one whose abode is in the water, born from Nara, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And that Narayan is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They are absolute and are not creations of Maya.
So these verses are quoting twicely Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. We hear these verses before also. Where is that Lord Brahma are talking with Lord Krishna? With that, you are that same Narayan. And when that Lord Krishna was saying, no, you making mistake. I'm just simply cowherd boy. Then he giving all the bakshas, all the details that how you are becoming Narayan. The same words are mentioning over here. So now why the Krishna Kaviraj Goswami he mentioned twicely in the same verses? Because he's mentioning as that Lord Brahma has mentioned that anga, the limb, the part of the body, as the Narayan, as a part of the body of Lord Krishna. Then from the others, how it is, even it is part, but same time it is he himself together. And that's way we cannot is like say the part is like a complete, but we can say obviously it is part. So as the same things are given here in the Bengali translation in next verse on verse 70. The Jaloshayi Antarjami Shri Narayan Sheho Tumar Angsho Tumi Mola Narayan. Rachana Mata, could you translate in Hindi?
Prabhuji, I am driving. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll hear from the some Manpro. What's Ta Mataji?
Shaista.
Aesta. I just remember only Sta. Aesta Mataji will be.
Sure, Prabhuji. The manifestation of the Narayana who predominates in everyone's heart, as well as the Narayana who lives in the waters, Karna, Garbha, and Shira, is your plenary portion. You are therefore the original Narayana. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Mata. So that's the way how is like Lord Brahma are mentioning to Krishna that all three there are the plenary portions. The similar way, who came is the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associate, as called the Upangas. Upangas also came here as helping to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his mission. So when Lord Brahma tried to identify, not only try to identify, Lord Brahma was actually proving and giving that proof to everyone about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, who are the ultimate. Plenary, what called? Plenary Lord? Ramchandra Prabhu, what the word is?
Plenary.
Yeah, plenary Lord.
Yeah, plenary form. Yeah.
So that's the plenary forms. So Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also the same person as the plenary forms, came in this age of Kali to deliver all the fallens. Prabhu, you want to add anything, Ramanuman Prabhu?
No, Prabhu.
Ramchandra Prabhu?
No, Prabhu.
I was just thinking, Prabhu, you associated the Upanga rather than Anga as Upanga as the associates of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I was just thinking about that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So Prabhu, one question. So Anga would mean the body of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Upanga would mean all the associates.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
I was hearing is like a, I was hearing, just hearing some, lecture by my Guru Maharaj, giving the lecture on the Lord Shiva. So then he quoted the verse of, from the Brahma Samhita, Khiram Jatha Dadhi Vikara Vichesha Yogat. You remember this sloka?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yakhiram Jatha Dadhi Vikara Vichesha Yogat. Sanjayate nahi tatahritagasti. Yeah.
Pratagasti heto.
Shambhutamopi jatha samupoiti kajyat govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So he's mentioning that Hiram as a milk, from the milk he can make a yogurt, from the yogurt he can make a butter, from butter he can make a ghee. But the ghee, you can't say ghee is a ghee. Ghee is not a milk. But when you have a butter, you can say that is a butter, and same time you can say it is ghee too, because the ghee was hidden with the butter. And then when you have the position of dadhi, yogurt, you can say this is yogurt, this is butter, and this is ghee also. And when you have a milk, then you can say this is a milk, but this is have a yogurt also, this have a ghee, this have a butter too. So now, as mentioning, that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a milk. Upangas are the ghees. It is from the milk, but it's have only the certain quality of the milk. The milk have all qualities, all four. So he is mentioning that is like Lord Krishna is a milk and Lord Shiva is a ghee. You cannot say ghee is, excuse me, different from milk. Ghee is the coming from the milk. That's why I said Lord Shiva also sometimes we can say in this material world, he also Parameshwar. In a short version, Parameshwar. Because Lord doesn't interfere with a earthly, with the Mayas. So that's why in this material world, by interfere with the Mayas, send his form as Lord Shiva. So Shiva is completely a tattva, his own tattva, not a Vishnu tattva, but Shiva tattva. So that's why it's like, Anga and Upangas. Anga, as the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Upangas, from that Angas, the associate, as have the quality of the ghee. Makes sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. Makes sense. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So we'll go to verse 71. Anga shabde angsho kahe seho sotto hai maya kajjo nahe sab chidanando mai. অঙ্গ শব্দে অংশ কহে সেহ সত্য হয় মায়া কার্য নহে সবে চিদানন্দময়. Translation. Radha Mata, could you read the translation, please?
Yes, Prabhu. The word anga indeed refers to plenary portions. Such manifestations should never be considered products of material nature, for they are all transcendental, full of knowledge and full of bliss.
Thank you. Ram Hanuman Prabhu, first paragraph of purport.
Sure, Prabhuji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay.
In the material world, if a fragment is taken from an original object, the original object is reduced by the removal of that fragment. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not at all affected by the actions of Maya. The Ishopanishad says, Om Purnam Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnasya Uddachyate Purnat Purnam Uddachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Ivashyasate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as a complete whole. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Shri Ishopanishad invocation.
Okay, Advanant Prabhu from next. In the realm.
Sure, Prabhu. In the realm of the absolute, 1 plus 1 equals 1 and 1 minus 1 equals 1. Therefore, one should not conceive of a fragment of the Supreme Lord in the material sense. In the spiritual world, there is no influence of the material energy or material calculations of fragments. In the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that the living entities are his parts and parcels. There are innumerable living entities throughout the material and spiritual universes, but still Lord Krishna is full in himself. To think that God has lost his personality because his many parts and parcels are distributed all over the universe is an illusion. That is a material calculation. Such calculations are possible only under the influence of the material energy, Maya. In the spiritual world, the material energy is conspicuous only by its absence.
Ramchandra Priya Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu. In the category of Vishnu Tattva, there is no loss of power from one expansion to the next, any more than there is a loss of illumination as one candle kindles another. Thousands of candles may be kindled by an original candle and all will have the same candle power. In this way, it is to be understood that although all the Vishnu Tattvas, from Krishna and Lord Chaitanya to Rama, Nrsimha, Vara, and so on, appear with different features in different ages, all are equally invested with supreme potency. Demigods such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva come in contact with the material energy and their power and potency are therefore of different gradations. All the incarnations of Vishnu, however, are equal in potency, for the influence of Maya cannot even approach them.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribol, Prabhu.
Okay. So this is very nicely Srila Prabhupada give the details about the angas and how the material energy work. How in this material world we know 1 + 1 is 2, but how spiritual world is like same 1 + 1 is also is a 1, and 1 - 1 also is a 1. So the descriptions are given to Srila Prabhupada very nicely here. So now we can see very nicely as mentioning about anga. Anga, as we just hear, his own body as a milk. Now his own body, the anga also is called amsa. Amsa means is a part. As we hear the Srila Prabhupada mention, Narsimha, Varaha, Adi. Now Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saying we don't have to go that far. We'll just bring in this age, on this pastime. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have his own anga. And who they are? Advaita Nityananda, Chaitanya Duyanga, Anger Avayavagan, Kohiye Yupanga. As Sri Advaita Prabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu are both binary portions of Lord Chaitanya. Thus, they are limbs, anga, of his body. The part of those two limbs are called the upangas. So, on here, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's anga as Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu. The same time, keeping the Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu's also as a upangas. So anga and upangas both together are there. Why is it anga? Anga is they are not different from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are the power, and upanga means they are the complete associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have a 5 tattvas together, pancha tattvas, and all the associate. So is the one of the associate of Lord Chaitanya, and that's why I said anga and upanga, the both are together with Advaita Acharya Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Is it clear, Prabhu? Any doubt?
So what about other Srinivas Prabhu? How is it's Upanga or Anga?
Srinivas Acharya is a upanga.
Okay.
Yeah, because Srinivas Acharya who came after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by power of Lord Chaitanya. So that's the one side. He is the Anga, but because of he appeared here, performing his pastimes is not completely Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. On he has Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's power, and same time he has a Manjari power. So that's why it is Upanga.
So, Prabhu, if we understand this, because so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, and his plenary portions, like Advaita Prabhu is Mahavishnu, and then Nityananda Prabhu is Lord Balram. So that's why they are the plenary portions of Lord Chaitanya. And then all the other associates are basically Upanga. So because they are part of the plenary portions of the plenary portions of Krishna, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's why they are Angas. And then rest of the associates are Pangas. Is that correct way to understand?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Verse 73. Angopango tiknostra prabhur sahite সেই সব অস্ত্র হয় পাষণ্ড দলিতে অঙ্গ পাঙ্গ তীক্ষ্ণ অস্ত্র প্রভুর সহিতে সেই সব অস্ত্র হয় পাষণ্ড দলিতে. Beautiful verse. Rachana Mata, translation please. Rachana Mata came back to home.
जी प्रभु जी, यस. अनुवाद. इस तरह भगवान अपने अंगों तथा उपांगों रूपी तीक्ष्ण अस्त्रों से सुसज्जित है. ये सारे अस्त्र श्रद्धा विहीन नास्तिकों का दलन करने में सक्षम है.
Beautiful, beautiful. Mayank Prabhu, could you read the purport, first paragraph?
Sure, Prabhuji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word Pashanda is very significant here. One who compares the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the demigods is known as a Pashanda. Pashandas try to bring the Supreme Lord down to a mundane level. Sometimes they create their own imaginary God or accept an ordinary person as God and advertise him as equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are so foolish that they present someone as the next incarnation of Lord Chaitanya or Krishna, although his activities are all contradictory to those of a genuine incarnation. And thus they fool the innocent public. One who is intelligent and who studies the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with reference to the Vedic context cannot be bewildered by the Pashandas. Hare Krishna.
Mata, Shayasta Mata, I remember your name.
Sure, Prabhuji. Pashandas or atheists cannot understand the pastimes of the Supreme Lord or transcendental loving service to the Lord. They think that devotional service is no better than ordinary fruitive activities, karma. As the Bhagavad Gita 4.8 confirms, however, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees, saving the righteous and chastising the miscreants, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, always curb these nonsensical atheists. Miscreants always want to deny the Supreme Personality of Godhead and put stumbling blocks in the path of devotional service. The Lord sends his bona fide representatives and appears himself to curb this nonsense. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Beautiful. So, Srila Prabhupada gave it very nicely how that Anga and Upanga, how strong weapon they are. It's called Tikna. Tikna meaning is sometimes, you are cutting a foil, just a foil wrap, foil papers. And then you working with the foil papers, everything is fine. After you work done, you are feeling that your finger was burning. You're feeling pain and burning. Is it? What happened? What happened in my finger? When you saw the finger was, there's a mark of cut. You're thinking how that, it's happened, how it's cut. You say, oh, it might be from that foil wrap. Because the foil wrap is not a knife. But the sharpness of the foil is more sharper than a knife. Or you're working with the kusha grass. It's more sharper. So that's called the tikna. Means it will be cut down, you're not going to feel it immediately. Later on you will feel it. So how that the devotees, the Mahaprabhu's Parshad and Mahaprabhu's associate and Mahaprabhu's Angas, they are in the tikna knife is like for the Pashandas. Because the Pashandas, they want to bring the Lord in a material portions. They want to come, they want to prove the Supreme Personality of Godhead who have contaminations. Bring it back to the material world. Bring it back to this material world, giving example in a material way. So that's where the devotees will come, and devotee will give the perfect philosophy to prove about the position of Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can see that Pashandas, they are always try to make a fool to the human being. They bring the lords as is like their own property. And always they introduce some newly personalities and try to make them as the same persons that appear in this material world again. We can see there is so many Babas. Some Babas are claiming himself, I'm a Krishna. You all come, I will do Rasha dance. Some Babas saying, I'm in this, I'm in that, I'm in this, I'm in that. But ultimately, what happening? A time period, people did understood what the bogus people they are. So those people are called Pashandas, and the devotees, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associate, they are working so hard to stop this kind of nonsense and give the ultimate message from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ramanaman Prabhu, you want to add anything? And Ramchandra Priya Prabhu?
No, nothing, Prabhu.
We want to hear something from you, Prabhu. I haven't heard anything today.
Yes, we are hearing, Prabhu. We are hearing from Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami.
Yes, that's true. Same time, I didn't hear anything from Ramchandra Priya Prabhu.
Okay, let's go to next verse.
I was thinking, Prabhu,
Yeah.
I was thinking about Prabhu Pashandas, and I just read the meaning actually in English. And I was, without reading the English meaning, I was trying to connect them to impersonalist, because they also sometimes things that bring the Supreme Personality of Godhead into a mundane way. So I was trying to think that way, but now I see that atheists, they don't even believe in God at all. They don't even consider that there is a God exists at all. That's the Pashandas are atheists.
Right. The Pashandas have also another few descriptions. Those descriptions is like a Pashanda. Pashanda, the words actually 3 words combined together with Pashanda. Pa, Sha, Inda. So Pashand means a rock. Pashand means a rock. Sometimes we say Pashanda Hriday. Your heart is like a rock, unmelted form. As like a rock, how much you cry, how much you heat it up, whatever way you try, the rock will not going to be melted. The similar way, who have that pashanda's heart, who have that rocken heart, that persons, as Prabhu's mentioned, impersonalist, or they do whatever they want, bring the Lord in this material world and present something else, presenting with something else. So those called pashanda. What is mentioning? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's this prem, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's why this Mahaprabhu's form, Mahaprabhu took this form, even that stone cannot be melted, cannot be heated up, cannot be broken. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even that Pashanda Hriday can be melted. And the proofs, when you go to Jagannath Puri, you will see the proofs. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu standing and seeing Lord Jagannath on the mood of the prema, the Pashandas is the stone got melted, and Mahaprabhu's complete foot stamp was manifested automatically. Where he put his finger on the wall, that place is melted. Mahaprabhu, we senses the whole body part is like a print on the rock. So that's called Pashanda Hriday. But the Pashanda, so that's why over here is a mentioning that Cheshava Astrohai Pashanda Dolite. Dolite meanings? Over here is mentioning to trample. So as we say, in Dalite meanings is the normal sign language. If you say how Dalite means the Pashan does, this is called Dalite. You know, we call Dalit. Meanings you keep it on the middle and you are just mashing up. So devotees are doing that by bringing that, chanting the holy name, giving the prem of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The person, the Hidroy got melted, they become a Lord's follower. And that's the power of Angas and Upangas. Ramanuman Prabhu, want to add anything?
No, Prabhu, thank you.
So Prabhuji, I don't think atheist बोले जो भगवान में believe ही नहीं करते, so उनका category अलग है, पाषाण का category अलग है. I think both are different. Pashans are different, and atheist, one who doesn't believe in God.
Both are, you can say, the Pashans.
Both are Pashan, Prabhuji.
You can say.
I thought atheist मतलब प्रभुजी वो लोग तो भगवान में ही believe नहीं करते.
So that's also this kind of rock, no? There is a many kind of rock.
Okay. So they are Pashan.
Yeah, they are completely Pashan. Jagai Madhai, a complete atheist.
Okay.
In Navadvip, Chaitanya Leela, Jagai Madhai are a complete atheist. They never believe on God. They said, who is God? They said, we are God. Means that Jagai Madhai are the God of Navadvip. And that's why they did all kind of nonsense. They did all kind of nonsense. They don't care anyone. When even people said Nityananda is Balaram, I said, come on, I am in Balaram. You know, kill him.
Okay.
So that's what's called the Pashandas, atheist also in this age of Kali.
Different types of rock.
Right. Right.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you.
Prabhu, is there any relation between this Pashanda and, you know, in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says about Ekatvena and Prathatvena and Mishuddha, something like the, so one is the Ekatvena who are just thinking everything is one. And then Prathatvena is Srila Prabhupada actually in the purport similarly describes Prathatvena, like someone who thinks that, someone who just generates their own Lord, who think even demigod worshippers fall into that. To some extent, they are also atheists in a different way. They think demigods are gods themselves, or the demigods are the Supreme Lord. So is that a correct understanding? Like
Yes,
Prathatvena is also the same?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay.
Ekatvena, Pratatvena, they both are, you can understand as a Pashandas.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Jai, thank you. Okay, we can go to the next verse. নিত্যানন্দ গোসাই সাক্ষাৎ হলধর অদ্বৈত আচার্য গোসাই সাক্ষাৎ ঈশ্বর নিত্যানন্দ গোসাই সাক্ষাৎ হলধর অদ্বৈত আচার্য গোসাই সাক্ষাৎ ঈশ্বর. A beautiful Prabhu, you all have to learn Bengali to get this nectar. And
I was thinking the same thing, Prabhu.
Same thing?
The nectar, the way you were speaking the verse, it's amazing, bro. It's so amazing to hear.
Yeah, and how merciful Srila Prabhupada are. Even he wrote in English books and he kept the Bengali slokas.
Yes.
Right? Is Chari Mataji there, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, she's here.
Mata, translation, please.
I'm on and off, Prabhu, so.
That's okay. Yeah, you are here now, so we can hear from your translation.
Sure. Translation. Sri Nityananda Gosai is directly Haladhara, Lord Balaram, and Advaita Acharya is the personality of Godhead himself.
So, very nice. As now is giving the descriptions about the Angas. As Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu here, they are the Angas. Excuse me. So, Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram himself. Goshai, words are given here that Srila Prabhupada keep the same word. Goshai is Goshai. The Goshai, go means a Indriya, all the senses. And Shai, as we know, the Goswami, the Swami of all the senses, and Shai also is the same way, is a Shai also words is called a person was the controller of that Indriyas, controller of those senses. That's the personalities we call Goshai. So we call Nityananda Goshai, we call Advaita Goshai, Daya Karo Sitapati. What is the next line? Man Prabhu?
I don't know, Prabhuji.
That's why I ask you. Because everyone knows. Advaita Goshai, Tabo Kripa Bole Pai, Chaitanya Nitai. So it's Goshai. As mentioning, Advaita Goshai, Nityananda Goshai in Bengal. So from there, that Gosai word was a very familiar. Now Pashandas also bring their name, last name as a Goshai. You see, they are the Goshai, but how they are controlling their senses, a branded cigarette on their finger. They are controlling the senses. A coffee cup on their hand. Or you going to ask about some prayers, they will give their own clarifications, which one doesn't even mention in Shastras. So bringing that word, the Gosai, but not following, means they are not fall apart in any sides. you can see in a Gosai. So over here is mentioning that Nityananda and Balaram, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, they are the Anga of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who they are? There is Balaram and Advaita as Shakshvad Ishwar. In the personalities of Godhead himself is Advaita. Now, they are the Tikna Astras. It's a very sharp weapon of Lord Chaitanya. And who they are means who more with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Devachpuri Shadasanno Sangeloya Dui Senapati Bule Kirtana Korya Sri Srivasadi Parishad Shonno Sangeloya Dui Senapati Bule Kirtana Korya. Very beautiful verse. And we'll hear the translation from Braja Radha Mata.
Yes, Prabhuji. The two captains with their soldier. I'm sorry, Prabhuji, my voice just.
That's fine. That's fine.
These two captains with their soldiers, such as Srivas Thakur, travel everywhere chanting the holy name of the Lord.
You see how these soldiers are actually battling in the battlefield. So they are not killing to the other people, but they are battling with the holy name. And every battle, you need a captain. Without a captain, battle cannot be complete. And that's why there is a two captains are actually leading that battle. Rachanamata, who is those two captains?
Nityananda Prabhu or Advaita Acharya.
Right. Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu. That's two leader, captain. As we know, Advaita Acharya Prabhu is also name, another one name, Simha. Advaita Simha. Simha means a lion. Advaita lion. Why they used to say the Advaita Simha? Because when Krishna blow the conch shell, all Pashandas, they are so scared, it's like a breakdown in their heart. When Advaita Acharya Prabhu scream, those Pashandas also have the same situation. As like when lion scream, all the animals, as far the vibration goes to his, what do you say? Bucking or screaming? What's called in English? Hunkar? Hunkar means?
Barking.
Barking?
Roaring. A lion roars, Prabhu.
Or
Roar,
lions.
right.
Roaring.
Hunkar, right?
Yeah.
So that's the Advaita Acharya Prabhu. We know when it's like Gopal. Yeah, when is Gopal, Advaita Acharya Prabhu's son, youngest son, who suddenly passed away. That time Advaita Acharya Prabhu are just is like a, rolling so loudly. How? He's chanting the Narasimha mantra, taking a water on his hand, chanting a Narasimha mantra, and just sprinkling that water on his body and rolling. Said not only his neighbors, whole village can hear the sound coming from Advaita. In the meantime, Mahaprabhu came. And Mahaprabhu bring Gopal back again. Otherwise, how Advaita Acharya Prabhu was a rolling, that time is like Advaita Acharya Prabhu looked like he's going to destroy the whole universe. Oh, okay. We have a next verse is like connecting with rolling, right, Prabhu? Yeah. Pashando Dalanavana Nityanandarai Acharya Hunkare Papi Pashando Palai is there. See? It is connecting. Ramchandra Prabhu, translation, please.
Sure, Prabhu. Lord Nityananda's very features indicate that he is the subduer of the unbelievers. All sins and unbelievers flee from the loud shouts of Advaita Acharya.
Loud shouts. Could you imagine? So that's the both are working. Nityananda Prabhu have his own weapon, and Advaita Acharya Prabhu have his own weapon. So it's loud, what's called loud? Yeah, shout. Loud shout his weapon. When he loudly shout, all the pashandas will be melted. And this is to captain. Now, who is the minister? Who actually controlling those two captains? Sankirtana Pravattaka Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sankirtan Yogyatare Bhaje Shei Dhanna. Rachana Mata, translation please.
अनुवाद भगवान श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य संकीर्तन भगवान नाम के सामूहिक कीर्तन के प्रवर्तक है जो संकीर्तन के माध्यम से उनकी पूजा करता है वो निसंदेह भाग्यवान है.
So that's Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami give more details about Lord Chaitanya, giving his future, giving his varnas, giving his angas, descriptions in everything. Now we are saying not only those, he was now actually a leader of the captains, and who introduced that Sankirtan movement, and who accept this in this age of Kali. Their life is completely fulfilled, as over here is mentioning, fortunate indeed. Fortunate. And we know.
मुझे लगता है यहाँ पर they showed us the way how to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Not only that, the how to worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and same time giving the descriptions of those devotees are not ordinary devotees. Those are worshipable of the Lord Chaitanya. They are not ordinary. Don't think they are ordinary. Because they make their life a success by simply accepting Lord Chaitanya on their life. So glorifying to devotees quality ultimately over here.
Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
It goes back to 74.
Mm-hmm.
So in verse 74, Nityananda Gosai is directly Lord Balram, and Advaita Acharya is personality of Godhead himself. So if we know that Krishna's expansion is Lord Balram and Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu, then why is, so in other words, Advaita Acharya is like an expansion of Nityananda Prabhu. Like if you look at the line that way, it should be Advaita Acharya should be an expansion of Lord Nityananda. Why is Advaita Acharya described as personality of Godhead himself, whereas Lord Nityananda is just been mentioned as Lord Balram? And maybe it's not that's just something that came into my mind, is like, ideally it should be Balram is higher than Advaita Acharya. Lord Balram is higher than Advaita Acharya.
One thing you have to one thing you have to read over here, the personality of Godhead himself. There is no word is called supreme personality of Godhead himself. The supreme word is missing there. So if it is supreme, then that questions could become, because Nityananda is a Haladhar, and because everyone knows Nityananda is Balaram, and Balaram is a Krishna second expansion. But people don't know Advaita. Who is Advaita? So that's why I said, don't think Advaita also is a less than Balaram, because he also independent is short too, because he's a Mahavishnu. So that's called the independent. That's why he's mentioning, giving the understanding to the devotee and giving a better idea about Advaita Acharya. But it doesn't give the place of supreme personality. Is that personality Godhead himself.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. That makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Ramchandra Priya Prabhu, you want to add something more?
No, Prabhu, you explained wonderfully. So yeah, all the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, are all personality of Godhead.
Right.
Whether it's Balram or Mahavishnu as Advaita Acharya or anyone, yeah, they are all personality of Godhead. Yes,
Even our guru also we can call as personality of himself. Guru Krishna Rupa hai Shastra Rupa mane Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Koren Bhakto Gane, isn't it? Guru Krishna Rupa hai Shastra Pramane. The Guru and Krishna are the same form according to the Shastra. And how Krishna bless us? Did we see? Krishna came and placed his hand to your head, said, hey, bring all good luck to you. But said, no. When the Guru's hand come to your head, you said that actually is not the Guru's hand, that's the Krishna's hand. The Krishna are keep giving blessings by Guru. And also, that's why I said what? Krishna rusto hoile Guru rakhi bare pare. Guru rusto hoile Krishna rakhi bare nare. If Krishna got angry, somehow or other, we make offenses to Krishna's lotus feet. Our Guru can help you to make Krishna happy. But if Guru got offended, Krishna cannot help you to make Guru happy. That's why we have to be very careful about Guru. Very careful about it. Right, Prabhu? You remember those verses?
Yeah, Prabhu. I can remember one thing, nice thing, Prabhu, like more merciful than Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. More merciful than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And more merciful than Lord Nityananda is our spiritual master. So that is the sequence of the mercy flowing from the higher source to the one that we are directly connected.
Right. Okay. Divanand Prabhu is make.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ramchandra Priya Prabhu. Also, thank you, Lord. I was also thinking of dasa nudasa. Like it's like how the more we become the servant, the better it is. Yeah.
Right.
We are more
servant
safe.
Of the servant.
Yeah, we are more safe.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 78. এই তো সুমেধার কুবুদ্ধি সংসার সর্বযজ্ঞ হইতে কৃষ্ণ নামযজ্ঞ সার সেই তো সুমেধায়ার কুবুদ্ধি সংসার সর্বযজ্ঞ হইতে কৃষ্ণ নামযজ্ঞ সার. Beautiful. Shaista Mata, translation please.
Sure, Prabhuji. Such a person is truly intelligent, whereas others who have but a poor fund of knowledge must endure the cycle of repeated birth and death. Of all sacrificial performances, the chanting of the Lord's holy name is the most sublime. Hare Krishna.
Hey, Man Prabhu, please.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the father and inaugurator of the Sankirtana movement. One who worships him by sacrificing his life, money, intelligence, and words for the Sankirtana movement is recognized by the Lord and endowed by his blessings. All others may be said to be foolish, for all sacrifices of all sacrifices in which a man may apply his energy, a sacrifice made for the Sankirtan movement is the most glorious. Hare Krishna.
Hey. Ram Hanuman Prabhu, we want to hear from you. Please elaborately give some explanations on this verse?
I don't have a qualification, Prabhu, but I will read something what Prabhupada has mentioned here. Like is mentioned in the previous verse, it said, one who worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through his Sankirtan, he's a very fortunate. And so this verse is extension of the previous verse. And the person actually who is performing the Sankirtan, he's very fortunate. Whereas others who have but poor fund of knowledge must endure the cycle of repeated birth and death. So it's so nicely explained that how important is this Sankirtan movement and how it cleanses our heart. And we, by performing this Sankirtan, we can actually, and Prabhupada says, we can directly go back to Godhead.
Very nice. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you. Ramchandra Priya Prabhu, a little bit of more explanations.
Prabhu, I can remember this conversation which will come here in Chaitanya Charitamrita between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai. There, Lord is asking one after another questions. So in that, the last question that he asked, what is, I don't remember the exact question the way it was asked, but I can remember the purpose of human form of life, the goal of a human is, so the last that Ramananda Rai says is chanting of the holy name of the divine couple. So that is Sankirtan here that is mentioned, Lord. So then the Lord said, yes, this is, then he never asked any other question. So that means this is the highest dharma, whatever you can say, for a living entity, to chant the holy name of the Lord. So any other sacrifices like Dravya Yagya or Jnana Yagya or whatever, they are below this Sankirtan Yagya. So Sankirtan Yagya is the highest of all the sacrifices. That's why it is said here that those who are very intelligent, not only intelligent, but sumedhasa, those who are very, very intelligent, they will perform this Sankirtan Yagya and not others. So those are very rare people in the Kali Yuga you can find. Like I have seen so many people, they know about Krishna, but nobody, like very rarely people there. But right now by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, people know about Lord Chaitanya, but previously they knew about Krishna, but nobody knew about Lord Chaitanya. So yeah, Prabhu. So those who are supremely like intelligent, very intelligent, they can only understand.
Right.
Prabhu. Prabhu, when did you hear about Lord Chaitanya first time? Just curiosity.
Whom are you asking, Prabhu?
I'm asking you, Prabhuji.
Myself? Prabhu,
Yeah.
I was also similar to these other people also. I knew about Krishna when I first came to Krishna consciousness, but I didn't knew about Lord Chaitanya. So in Kenya, they had smaller deities of Lord Chaitanya in between Radha Banke Bihariji and Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji. There were small deities of Gaur Nitai. So people used to pay obeisances. But I didn't remember, but after a long time, that somebody told me that Lord Krishna, he appeared as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and people offering obeisances in the center there because of Gaur Nitai. So that time I came to know about Lord Chaitanya. That's the first time I can remember I knew about. Before that, though I was born in Bengal, but I didn't knew much about Lord Chaitanya. Yeah, I was Manda Buddhi, Manda Bhagya, when Bhagavatam says. So I was like that. Foolish person, yeah. Those who are very intelligent, they knew from their birth about Lord Chaitanya, like our Manoram Prabhu and other Gaudiya devotees. But I was not that fortunate. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, actually, depend on in Bengal also, you know, it's like we born in village areas. So village areas, even from when we start understanding. Understanding means is like 2 years or 3 years old. Since from that time, we hear there is a Nama Yajna, means there is a Ashtaprahar or 24 Prahar, Sankirtan Yajna was going on. And from childhood, everyone knows the Gaur-Nitai. Gaur-Nitai is our Lord, our own person from our own family members in our house. So that's the things. And also in Bengal, there is a lot of song. Normally, we hear the song sound. So there's a Bengali song is like, as mentioning, how Nadia, Ache Gaur Nitai Nadiyate, Krishna Ache Mathurate. In Kali Ghat in Bengal is one of the famous Devi Peeth. Kali Ghat Achikalli said, if you want to see, then run and come. And we used to hear that Kirtan means the Hari is called Harishava. Harishava means nowadays we say our Namahatta Diksha. And old days they used to say Harishava or Hari Bashar. Hari Bashar means where they sit together and they talk about Lord Hari. So Hari Bashar, Lord Hari's house means they don't talk anything else without them Hari. On that Hari Bashars, they sing. What they sing? The same thing. Nitai Gunamani or Gorangero Dutipada or Kejabe Bhai Bhava Sindhu Pai. I remember, on my childhood, maybe I was 3 or 3.5 or 4, max I am 4. My mother used to take all the, whatever the kirtan is, they take us. We all 3 brothers, sisters. We go with her and we sit. We remember, and normally the kirtans always take place in the best people, they all work. And they don't do the job. They work for, farming, they making, crop and things. And the evening, no one do any work. They have only one work. Where is Haribashar was taking place, whole village will come there.
Wow.
When we go, we'll sit, and there is no particularly carpet to sit down. Under the under the sky, they put one big cloth on the top. Sometimes there is no cloth also, and in the below, if it is like winter time, might be a little cold. They put is like a bisoli ke ki bole Ramchandra Prabhu? The paddy grass.
Yeah, Prabhu, paddy grass.
हम लोग चटाई बोलते हैं प्रभु जी. चटाई
नहीं, चटाई तो है अगर कुछ है, लेकिन बट ये वो जो राइस होते हैं ना,
हाँ,
कंप्लीट लो राइस निकालने के बाद में जो स्ट्रॉ रहते हैं,
वो घास का, हाँ,
the dry paddy straw. This one normally you cut down and give food as a cow. So they used to, what they used to do, they used to put that one, only that grass on the, at least it feels like puchani and little kurma. People used to, how is like, nicely they see there is no appetizers, no snacks, no waters or anything, but people are drinking. What they're drinking? They're drinking a nectar. What the nectar? Chaitanya Leela, the bhajans. It's beautiful. So those things is like, in Bengal are gifted by, by mercy of Lord Chaitanya, that from childhood you got having understanding of the Lord. But what happened when that person is like, you count as your family members, you really don't count them as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the big problem was took place. And that's why many people, Gaur-Nitai, Gaur-Nitai came, bring this holy name. They knows by chanting this holy name, he can go back to Godhead. But who brought that? He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Then they have a difficult to understand. They have to believe on holy name, but they don't have to believe on the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who brought this holy name. What a funny thing,
पर प्रभु जी सेम थिंग तो ये माँ यशोदा और वो पूरे गोपियों के साथ हुआ. कृष्णा बोलते थे, हाँ मैं भगवान हूँ, तो वो उन्हीं को बोलते थे, तुम्हें तो ऐसी बात करने की आदत है. तुम कहाँ के भगवान, उनको बोलते थे. तो कृष्णा बोलते थे मैं ही राम हूँ. तो बोलते नहीं ये तुमको सब बचा रहे भगवान, सॉरी डीमन से, नारायण तुम्हें बचा रहे. Matlab, even they did not believe. I think it's a love,
Yeah,
affection.
that's the first time. That's the love, parental love.
Yeah.
Lot of nourishing it.
So Bengal people are fortunate.
That's true. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Even in our school days when we used to read, like that was a period called Bhakti movement began. So in the West, like Mirabai, and in Maharashtra, Tukaram and all those. So people used to think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as one of the saint. Sant समझते थे उनको, भगवान नहीं समझते थे चैतन्य महाप्रभु को. Even in the books they used to mention as saint in Bengal. That appeared during that Bhakti movement time was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they will not say as a Lord, but they will say as a saintly person. So that is how people used to, and even it is said, yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as Chanda Avatar, like his Gupta Avatar. Not everyone can understand. Those who are very intelligent, they can understand and realize. Even in his pastimes also, wherever he has revealed himself as Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will tell them, don't tell that I am the Supreme Lord or something, otherwise you will be doomed. So he will say like that. Yeah. Do you remember, Prabhu, when Brahmana came to Jagannath Mishra's house and that Bal Gopal used to worship?
Brahman.
Yeah.
Pilgrimage Brahman.
Pilgrimage Brahman, yeah. So that time, Lord revealed his identity, but told him not to disclose this to anyone else. Yeah. So,
yeah, she's like even when even Lord took sannyas. After sannyas, when he went to Dakshin Bharat, and when he gave darshan to Gopal Bhatta, and that time also Lord mentioned same thing to Gopal Bhatta, that whatever you saw, do not describe to anyone. Keep with you only.
Yeah.
And it is my order.
That's.
Can I speak? I wanted to say something. So, like we all know, I have few Bengali friends who had heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like they were from Orissa also. They know Jagannath Puri and everything. They were like near Jagannath Puri. But I still see that they are not attracted to Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Like how, we see that they should be the ones who should accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he chose to appear in that tract of Bengal. So I feel that Srila Prabhupada was the one actually who carried this to the West, and now we see all the Westerners who are more fortunate than even the people who were born in Bengal and don't worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I feel that it is all glories to the founder Acharya of ISKCON that he came all the way traveling the ocean. Like even though like these people might not be physically born in Bengal, but still like Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted, I think it was the Acharya's wish that the whole world chant his glories. Like imagine if Srila Prabhupada would have kept it a secret, like just staying in Bengal or just staying in Radha Damodar, there would be none of the Westerners who would have become devotees. And now we see there are so many Westerners like chanting, doing deity worship and everything. So I feel that is Srila Prabhupada is really like the whole of humanity will remain indebted to Srila Prabhupada for a very long time. Because fortunate are those who come in contact with pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, I feel. Like from birth, maybe I'm not that much. I'm sorry to say, but then I'm just like saying, because there are so many, I know so many of my Bengali friends. They do not even know, like here in my next door neighbor, that she's from Bangladesh and she knows Gorango. Like she's like, but she doesn't know that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if I see my Western friends at the institute, they just like worship him, his deities. It's because, it's just a matter of faith, I guess, and mercy of pure devotee.
Yeah, that's it is no doubt about it. And that's why it's like Ramchandra Prabhu's mentioned that how even the people means is the Bengals, they born in Bengal, but not only the born in Bengal, only those persons, Shumedha was the intelligence on that. They have that capabilities or acceptance that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada, no doubt about it, the Srila Prabhupada, and because it is actually predicted by Mahaprabhu himself, isn't it? It's not only the wish of Acharyas, Mahaprabhu himself predicted, Prithivite ache jato nagarati gam, sarvatra pracharita hoibe mor naam. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur bring that verse, and he predicted when that day will come. Mahaprabhu wanted, all over of other, all over of world that Mahaprabhu's name will be distributed, and when that day will come, when I will see the America, Russia, Persia, they all will come together under one umbrella, and they will up their hand and chant and dance Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. When that day will come, and then he predicted and he mentioned to Bimala Prasad, I can see one person are coming very soon. Bimala Prasad, I'm telling you, one person are coming very soon. And you have to choose that person. And you have to make sure that person will distribute the same word what Mahaprabhu predicted. And Bimala Prasad captured that person in a very first introduction, very first meet on 1922 in Ultaranga, Kolkata. And a first introduction, Bimala Prasad said, yes, my father told, this is the person I can see. This is the person. We're waiting for that so long. Last 500 years we are waiting for. And we can see. Result, we are actually getting that result. Those time, those devotees doesn't get the result. But we are seeing now, what Prabhupada did. Jodi Prabhupada na hoito, tobe ki hoito. If he was not here, what could be happening? Yes, next 10,000 years.
I mean, that poem which you're reciting is also composed by Westerner body devotee.
Right.
Mataji, can I say something here? That the original bhajan is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu na hoito.
Jodi Gaura na hoito,
Yadi Gauranga na hoito.
The same bhajan, His
Same
Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj,
Yes.
His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, he bring it to offering to his own guru as Srila Prabhupada, and he writes that poem. Jodi Prabhupada na hoito, tobe ki hoito.
Yeah, he composed on the same lines. I think he used the first line in similarity to what Gauranga Mahaprabhu's bhajan is.
Right.
And rest all of these verses he composed by himself in Bengali.
Yep.
He stays in Bengal. He's in Mayapur. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. It's very nice. I think this is a good discussion, right? Man Prabhu, what do you think? This discussion is required or it should not require?
Prabhuji, I'm not no one to say or comment on that. It's a good discussion for me. It's good to hear all the perspectives.
Right. You know what happened is only that words from the books might be will have we don't have that much abilities to filter it and taking it. But when we hear from the different devotees' mouth, that's actually give us more filtrations and more idea to understanding of the message. That's I feel is like this is really nice to have everyone's point of view to hear, so then we can filter it and we can understand properly on that point. Am I right, Ram Hanuman Prabhu?
Absolutely, Prabhuji, 110% correct. So, because the message is coming directly from Supreme Personality of Godhead and Prabhupada's mercy, and although we are individuals, but all devotees follow the same thing, and every devotee has learning and capacity different way, so their experiences actually mean a lot. That what they have realized actually in their lives. So sharing this information is very, very good.
And Prabhuji, I just wanted to quickly add here, like my husband was always telling me this after his first initiation in 2019, like Madhvacharya Prabhu also keeps saying, like they keep discussing these things, that he says he's from Udupi, the place where Madhva Sampradaya, the birthplace, where Madhva Sampradaya was founded. And he's from Udupi. From childhood, he's been there. He's been going to the Udupi temple. He knows like who's Madhvacharya, everything. But he never like really went and inquired like what it is, like what is this tattva, like who is the supreme personality of Godhead. He didn't know that Lord, this is the Lord who's the supreme personality of Godhead. So and he found it very he took it very the situation touched his heart that he came all the way to West to become a devotee. Like he came to West to become a devotee. And who introduced, like it was, I think Gaurvani who was saying in one of Vyasa Puja offerings, that the person who connected him to this Madhva Sampradaya, which is the place from where he is a Western body devotee, pure devotee, very pure devotee, Radhanath Swami. Like he got connected to the Sampradaya through him. So it's so important service that Srila Prabhupada did. Like how many devotees became just by his coming to the West. So
right. Thank you, Mata. Yep. Okay. We'll go to the next verse. Koti Ashro Medoye ke Krishna Nama Shama Jai Kahe Shepashandi Dande Tare Jamam. Koti Ashro Medoye ke Krishna Nama Shama Jai Kahe Shepashandi Dande Tare Jamam. ISKCON Mataji there?
No, Prabhu, she is not here.
Okay, Prabhu, you can read the translation, please.
Okay, Prabhu. Translation. One who says that 10 million Ashwamedh sacrifices are equal to the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna is undoubtedly an atheist. He is sure to be punished by Yamaraj. Wow.
This is one of the very important verse.
Amazing verse.
Purport. Ramchandra Priya Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
In the list of the 10 kinds of offenses in chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hare Krishna, the 8th offense is Dharma Vrata Tyaga Utadi Sarva Sabha Kriyas Samyam Api Pramada. One should never consider the chanting of the holy name of Godhead equal to pious activities like giving charity to Brahmanas or saintly persons, opening charitable educational institutions, distributing free food, and so on. The results of pious activities do not equal the results of chanting the holy name of Krishna. The Vedic scripture says, Go koti danam grahane khagasya prayaga gan godak kalpavasa yagnayutam meru suvarnadanam govinda kirter na samam satamse. Even if one distributes 10 million cows in charity during an eclipse of the sun, lives at the confluence of the Ganges and Yamuna for millions of years, or gives a mountain of gold in sacrifice to the Brahmanas, he does not earn 1/100th part of the merit derived from chanting Hare Krishna. In other words, one who accepts the chanting of Hare Krishna to be some kind of pious activity is completely misled. Of course, it is pious, but the real fact is that Krishna and his name, being transcendental, are far above all mundane pious activity. Pious activity is on the material platform, but chanting of the holy name of Krishna is completely on the spiritual plane. Therefore, although Pasandis do not understand this, pious activity can never compare to the chanting of the holy name.
Jai. Beautiful. Srila Prabhupada get the beautiful. Why is mentioning that one who say that 10 millions Ashwamedha sacrifice are the equal to the chanting of holy name of Lord Krishna. So because yagna, charity, all kind of this called purna karmas or pious activities. And in Nama Aparadha we know the holy name are not pious activities. So when if someone said, no, why you need to do Ashwamedh Yagna, chant the holy name, you will get that same benefit. Said that's a expectation and prospectations. The both are wrong. Because the holy names are not going to give you that benediction. What by doing the yagna you will get it. Eventually, the holy name will give you that benediction. What you not going to be get it by performing all kinds of yagnas or charities. So that things will be give you. Which one normally you're not going to be even think about it. What could be? So that's why the holy name we never have to compare with Purna Karmas. Today, I went one place, one person was asking that I read in Bhagavad Gita, I hear from someone, some lecturer. If I read Bhagavad Gita, there is particular one verse every day. So Lord Krishna will be very happy. So Panditji, what do you think? Which verse should I chant every day? Then I said, I have two options. You read 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day, whole chapter, and you chant one mantra, and that's the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, oh, okay, I know this is like Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by chanting, you cannot get any material benefit. Then I was just explaining him that what all the material benefits are. The material benefits are limited. As you're doing some work for someone, you will get a limited pay. There is a pays have limitations. That's okay. You can only get this much. Now, you went to the king. And king asking, what do you want? You're saying, give me $100. The associate of king, they are laughing. Look, this foolish person. King can give $100,000, but he asking only $100. Now, if he asks $100,000, still they're going to say it is foolish. Because on that 100,000, maybe he will die next day. Because someone will come, steal that money, and kill him. So then I said, you cannot ask to Lord, what do you need? Yes, you can ask. What you ask? You ask, oh Lord, my dear Lord, you do know what do I need. Please, you provide that. So Lord will provide you the perfect things, what's required for you. There is one very nice story. How we work with our karmas together. I was just forgetting that story, my brain are getting, it's like resting. I'm forgetting many things. So might be Ram Hanuman Prabhu or Ramchandra Prabhu did remember that person's name. The person who was trying to find out when his last day of his life. He went to Jamraj. Yamraj, could you check when is my last date? Oh no, he went to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma said, oh, I don't know, because he's the devotee of Lord Brahma. Then Lord Brahma said, okay, let's go to Lord Shiva, because he's the destroyer. And he could have that, because he have a desire to live in life couple of kalpas, not a day, couple of kalpas. And he was quite longer age. Otherwise, how come he can go to Lord Brahma? Then he came to Lord Shiva along with Brahmaji. And Lord Shiva said, well, I don't know. Because I'm a destroyer for this universe. But ultimately, the human destroyer is Yamraj. So let's go to the Yamraj and find out when is your last day. And they went to the Yamraj. And Yamraj asked to Chitragupta, Chitragupta, could you check? And Chitragupta opened the page and said, his time is over now, because there is saying that person will be alive until the three person can come together along with the person. If Brahma, Shiva and Yamraj come together with that person, that's his last day. So if he don't come in Jamraj, he would stay for not a kalpa, yuga after yuga. But his karma cast him, drag him down, go to Brahma. And Brahma came with Shiva. And Shiva, Brahma, Shiva, they both came to Yamraj. And when they then he died. What is the Rishi's name, Prabhu? Did you remember?
No,
No,
Prabhuji,
Prabhu,
I don't.
yeah, even I don't remember, Prabhu.
Yeah, I remember that Rishi's name. I used to tell frequently, but almost 6-7 years. I really don't have that nice group of discussions. So many things I forgot. By now is like mercy of all of you. I'm trying to get पुनः एक बार वो स्मरण करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. I just try to memorize those things.
Whose devotee was that Rishi, Prabhuji?
That's why I'm saying I forgot the name of the Rishi.
No, whose devotee? Whose
Oh,
devotee?
he is the worshipper of Lord Brahma.
Lord Brahma. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He is the worshipper of Lord Brahma. And that's why he
I
went to
thought
Lord
you were
Brahma
talking
first.
about Markandeya Rishi. No.
No.
This is not that.
Markandeya Rishis never die.
Yeah. That is what I thought you were speaking. I think I got confused with the story. I thought he never died or something. So,
No.
Yeah.
So how is like when three murtis, it's called three murtis, Brahma, Shiva, and Yamraj. When three murti together, his last day is that day. So he died. Okay, so that's it's called the destiny. So that's what we don't know. What we need, we should pray. My dear Lord, you know what better for me? Please give me that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually teaches us how to pray to Krishna. Which on last week also we recite that verse from Shikshashtakam. Shikshashtakam or Upadeshamrita? Nadhanam.
Shiksha. Yeah.
Right. So Rachana Mata, did you remember that verses?
Like we have to be like a grass.
No, Nadhanam, that verses.
Oh no, Prabhuji, I don't.
Who was reciting? Nadhanam, Najanam, Dibanan Prabhu.
Yeah, I don't remember. Nadanam Najanam Nasundaram Kavita Jagadish Kamaye Nama Janmani Janmanishwareshware Kavata Bhakti Kahetaki Tavi Toi.
So Nathanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitang Jagadish Kamaye Mamo Jarmanishware Bhavatad Bhakti Ahi Tukitai. There is some other organizations, the worshipper of demigods. Every day morning, their very first prayer, they do Dhanam Dehim Janam Dehim Rupam Dehim Jatha Pare. They pray in front of Ma Parvati. That's their very first prayer. And that prayer is in front of their gates, and this is our religious organization. And see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're saying Dehi Dehi, Bhakti saying no. So that's the prayers we have to take. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitang bhajagadishu kamaye, mamo jarmanishware, bhavotat bhakti rahitu kitai. Came to that servant to servant to servant. When we have that mood, servant to servant to servant, so then that mood will come that I can serve to the Lord and the devotee of the Lord. Okay. So any adding, addition, any subtractions or anything? Today's time is almost over. So we'll start verse 80 on coming Thursday. So please note it. And now any discussions?
Prabhuji, the same words. Yeah, Prabhuji, the same words with the meaning is in Bhaja Govindam also. Even Shankaracharya write the same thing.
And do you know the
Exact, you can match the.
when they say the Bhaja Govindam, Shankaracharya, right?
Oh
When?
yes, he wrote when he saw a Brahmin was trying to learn Sanskrit grammar at his peak age. No?
This is the slokas the Shankaracharya written when Shankaracharya's last breath. Shankaracharya was living body.
Oh.
Because Shankaracharya was establishing the philosophy. Is completely different tattva, completely different philosophy. Completely hidden philosophy he gave. And when he was leaving the body, that time he gave the final quotation. Oh, all fools, murha. Murha means murk, foolist. Oh, foolist. You guys all accepted very happily whatever I give the rubbish things. Yes, Shankaracharya came as a Lord instructed him to spread the Mayavad. So that's why he didn't instruct it to worship him or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he can't stop himself. He said, how I can go back to without giving the final quotation. So he gave that final quotation, Bhajo Govindam, Bhajo Govindam, Bhajo Govindam, Murha Mate. Oh Murhas, oh Mur, oh fool. Forget everything. Worship Govinda only. The very last verse given by Shankaracharya, and then he left from this world. Back to his own.
Yeah. So
okay, thank you so much.
Bhaja Govindam, beautiful. Yeah.
Ramchandra Priya Prabhu, have anything to, any instructions for us? Any
No,
more
Prabhu.
nectars for us?
No, Prabhu, nothing, Prabhu. You have given a lot of nectar, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I don't think I have anything else.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you on Thursday. Vancha kalpataru bhasya kripa sindhubhai vacha patitanam pavabhyo vaishnavasya namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, जगत गुरु शीला प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे। Thank you so much, everyone.
Praise Manoram Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.